from George's family will get up and say something. And then after that, George himself will get up and say a few words. Pastor Ian Cooper. Junior.
First of all, let me say good evening to everyone I may not have had an opportunity to speak to. I tried to get around to everyone, and also for those that I may not have kissed. Amen. But praise be to God, we are here and glad to be here for this celebration on tonight. I want to say happy birthday to my friend and my brother, Brother George Brooks. What a blessing it is to be able to come and to share with you on this momentous occasion. Of course, we tried to do it a couple of months ago, but you spoiled that, okay? And so we tried to do it then, but you kind of messed that one up. But I'm glad to be here on tonight. And originally was scheduled to be out of town, but I'm glad to be able to be here to share with my friend and my brother. We, actually, George's family and I go back further than actually George and I, and his family. Whenever you grow up in a neighborhood, we used to have communities. We used to have neighborhoods, and when you grew up in a neighborhood, of course, you got to know all of the families that were in the neighborhood. And so if you heard a couple of shout outs as I was coming up, that was back from the hood. Amen. So they kind of went back a little bit, you know. I know it was TC. I know it's TC. So, see, y'all don't know who TC is, do you? But I know it was him. So anyway, you got to know all of the families, and then as you grew older and older, then you begin to make kind of all of the connections that were related to the families. And then, of course, when I got to Prospect, there was this brother who I must tell you, I thought that I was the coolest dude in the hood. But there is one who is cooler than me. I mean, he just does not get excited, does not get in a hurry. I mean, nothing, you know, just, you know, takes him over the top. Amen. And so I followed this brother. I said, I gotta, you know, see a little bit more about this brother. And I go out, and of course, this brother gets in a vet. And I see him all over the city, styling and profiling in his vet. And I said, this brother is too much for me. I can't handle him. But he just has been the same, steady as a rock, always committed, always doing it the right way. And I said I was not going to forget her name, but she worked with you at the city for years. She used to work at the unemployment office, and I told her that you were having your birthday party this weekend. She's from Duncan, and her family's from Duncan. And she told me to tell you hello, okay? Yes, yes, okay. She told me to tell you hello. She worked, I think, for you for a number of years. I got to know this brother and just found him to be a true man of God. And I was so elated when he turned in his player card. And finally settled down with this young, vibrant, loving, caring wife who made him turn in his player card, and now he's no longer driving a vet, but he's driving a four-door sedan. All because she settled him down. So George, I love you, man. Just wanted to say to you, congratulations and enjoy this wonderful time. Bless you.
Whew. So glad that Pastor Cooper came first. So now I can, as I'm kind of, because I wrote mine down so I can kind of stay on pace. Make sure I'm not up here for 30 minutes. Y'all know how that works. Oh, Marsha. All right. But see, now I understand my brother even better now. But what an honor it is to share such a wonderful occasion with you, George. 70 years. 70 years. That's a long time. It's 70 years of loving and learning and growing and meeting, and what am I trying to say? Meeting other people and your lives crossing and all of that. You have much to be grateful for, and we have much to be grateful for to be a part of it. As I reflected back, I remember thinking when I first met George, I remember thinking that he's so quiet. Of course, he was so serious. That book, one of my favorite books growing up was Curious George, but for me, George used to be Serious George, because I just thought he was just, he was all about the business. George doesn't say a whole lot, but when he speaks, he has something to say. And that is what I learned about him. It wasn't that you're just so quiet, it's just that he's learned how to measure his words. And so that is respectable. The word says a person who doesn't sin with their mouth is a great person. And so we are grateful that George is a great person. I worked with George on a project at Prospect. It was a Red Cross project. And besides being a person who is measured with his words, George is also very dependable. And working with him on that project, I found that he's always prompt. He always has something positive to bring to the table, to say, to keep the project on course. He's articulate. George is an extraordinary person because he's what some people call the whole package. They look and they say the whole package, because he has brains. Obviously, from Pastor Cooper, we learned that he's cool. Thought he was just quiet, but he's cool. But that is George. That's the George that I knew for many years, as far as being serious, on point, dependable, faithful, quiet. But after a while, I realized that there was a different George. There is a humorous George. And George enjoys cutting up a little bit. As some of you know, I like to cut up a little bit here and there. And I found that George does too. And I was quite surprised, because that vibrant wife that Pastor Cooper was talking about, that vibrant, lovely wife that slowed George down, we have this special relationship. And we like having colorful conversations at times. After worship, we'd be chit-chatting and in the office area, and everybody's kind of gone home, and Rochelle and I would be out there chit-chatting, and sometimes these colorful conversations would overflow to the trustee room. And as I was passing by the trustee room, I'd look in at George, and I would make a comment about his vibrant wife, and all that George would do is he'd just kind of give me that smile and that little chuckle that he had, flashing that big old smile. So I learned that there was another George. And so I want you to know George Brooks is a wonderful example of controlled strength. He knows when to be serious. He's always dependable, always faithful, and he knows how to smile and enjoy life as well. George is my friend. He is my brother. George, this is my prayer for you, is that you will experience increased strength in your body, joy in your heart, and love all around you in the many remaining years of your life still to come. I want you to know, near or far, that you will forever be my friend. I love you.
Well, George, I want to say happy birthday to you. It is a pleasure and an honor to work with you in the trustee room. As both of the pastors have said, you are a quiet person, and I'm quiet. You're quieter than I am. And George and I have gone to lunch, to breakfast together. At first, it was long. Neither one of us, after, how you doing, George? How's everything going? We heard I'm doing fine. How you doing? But as we have grown to know each other better, we do have a little bit more to talk about than that. And I must say, I have yet to see George where he wasn't clean. Just decked out, whether he's in jeans or suit. I mean, a matter of fact, I saw him at church this week, and I had to come. George, every time I see you, you just, I wouldn't model myself at you, but I don't have your kind of money to do all that. But, and as Pastor Richardson and Pastor Cooper said, George is quiet, but in that quietness, it kind of reminds me of that old E.F. Hutton commercial. When he speaks, everybody should listen because he has something to say that's worth listening to. My brother, I do love you. I appreciate you. You and I have had some good conversations. I hope they will continue. If at any time you ever need me, I'm just a phone call away. Again, I wish you happy birthday, and all of this comes from the heart, okay? I can't say that much.
Okay, everybody who knows me know I'm a crybaby, so you know I got this. All right. Everything that people have said about my brother is absolutely true. Y'all didn't grow up with it. For a long time, it was just George and me. And my parents were strict, and so I could never go anywhere. He had to always be my chaperone, and he hated it. And my brother was mean to me. Let me tell you, one time he hit me in the head with a rolling pin. Now that's the brother that I knew. Now, my brother wasn't so kind to me always. And so once my younger sister and brother came along, they got sick. One of us had to stay home from school to take care of them. And George would blackmail me and say, I'm going to tell Mama you did this, or I'm going to tell Daddy you did this. You better stay. And so, I was so afraid of my brother. I'd stay. And then finally, the light bulb came on and I thought, you go tell whatever you want to tell, because that's not true. That's the brother I grew up with. But let me tell you, George and I were like two peas in a pod. He was my friend. He was my go to for everything, because for a long time it was just he and I. And my other siblings have different experiences, and I guess they will talk about that. But my brother has always been, his temperament has always been just like that. If he ever went here, you didn't want to see him. He's always been kind and gracious and loving and caring. And no matter what you did to him, he would not be mean to you. If you mistreated him and you needed him, he would be there for you. And I used to say to my brother, I want to be just like you when I grow up. Haven't grown up yet, because I'm still not like him. A lot of fond memories growing up with my brother. He was my protector, and he took care of me. And you know, the little boys couldn't talk to me, you know, because he was always around. A lot of fond memories. This is going to make me cry. But the fondest memory that I have of this young man is that Sunday morning when he walked down the aisle at Prospect Baptist Church and gave his life to the Lord. I was proud as a peacock because I had been, Reverend Munson and I had been encouraging my brother to come to church. He'd been through some things, you know, and he started coming. And every Sunday I prayed, Lord, let him join today. And he wouldn't. And the one Sunday when I didn't say, Lord, let him join today, I looked up and he was down for me. That is the fondest memory I have of my brother. Ever since that day, he's never looked back. He has been a faithful servant.
Yes.
He believes in God and he trusts God. And I know that God is going to continually bless him. Brother dear, I love you. And I'm grateful for your life. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all that you have done for me and meant to me. And my prayer for you is that God will continue to strengthen you, to bless you, and to grant you many more years.
Good evening, how y'all doing? Y'all enjoying yourself? That's good, that's good, that's good. We're busy people. Okay, I guess this is about Brother George.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad you figured that out.
Okay. Well, Brother George is a very special friend of mine. We have become friends over the years, and I thank him for every moment that we've spent together. He's taught me a lot of stuff about Oklahoma. I know he's an old Corvette driver like myself, and that was special. And so, what can I say about George? Everything. He's an ideal guy to know and love and become friends with, and I've enjoyed that. He's like a brother. I really enjoy being around George, and we've had a lot of great conversation. It's been a good ride. We want to continue to be a good ride, right, Brother George? Good deal. Thank you.
Anyone else from George's family want to say a few words? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
his niece, Miss Nicole Munson.
So I'm going to say a couple of things. I am delighted to be here. I got on a plane and came from New Jersey to make sure that I could actually be here for this. The person that my mother described, that's the George I know. As you all talk about, he's so quiet, he's so easygoing. My Uncle George whooped me one time. Do you remember that?
Whoa.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember too, I'm almost 50 years old, and I remember and will never ever forget. It was then that I said, I will never do anything again. I promise to make you go this way, because I was used to always seeing him be this way. My Uncle George has been the strength in our family. He has been the one who keeps us all sane, because he is the one who's this way, always. And I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm so grateful that God allowed you to be here today. I'm so grateful that you're getting better. I trust God that you will continue to get better. I pray that He will continue to strengthen you and that you see so many more years of your life. I love you, Uncle George.
Wow. Man. Wow.
The next person you're going to hear from is George. Oh, John wants to say something? Okay. Debbie? Then after them will be George.
What about you?
Then after them will be me. Then George.
You go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm George's baby sister. I always say that, baby sister. I just wanted to come up and tell you, George, you already know how much I love you. And he and I both kind of got sick at the same time. And I was in the hospital, and he was very sick, but he came to the hospital to sit out there with me. And that meant so much to me. He was sick himself. And George's temperament, he gets that from our mother. She was just the same way, just easygoing, and she was just a friendly person, and just a good, honest person. And that's what my brother George is. And it's 10 years, I'm telling my age, but it's 10 years difference in us. And so people in our family, they tease us because they say, me and my brother John, they say that we would change a life babies. Because it's so much of an
That
age.
is not what my mother said.
Yes, she did.
She said she saved the best for last.
But I'm the baby.
Yeah, let you tell it. That's why I said, that's how old you are?
But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked, but I love you, George, and happy 70th birthday. I'm glad that God is just continuing to bless you, and every time I talk to you, you're just getting more stronger, and your appetite's getting better, and you're going back over to the church working. And I call him, and did you go to church today? Yeah, I went to church today. I did good today. And so that just does my heart good. And so we are just going to continue to pray and ask God to just continue to cover you and heal you. And we just thank God for your life. And I love you.
I'm George's brother. I heard a lot of you folks in the room say, my brother. That literally is my brother. How you feel about him, you can multiply that by a lot. Infinity. Being the youngest in my household was challenging experience. It helped make me who I am. I pride myself on being different than my siblings, of course. I'm the best looking one.
But I'm gonna also tell you what my mama told me, I didn't have no ugly ones. So I'll give them credit on that too. But on a serious note, as far as what George is concerned, I wanted to go ahead and take this opportunity because we know life is fleeting and we never know if we will have another opportunity. And I sat there and I heard all you folks say, my brother, my brother, my brother. And the reality for me is I wanted to make sure that my brother knew exactly how I felt about him. My brother set an example for me as far as what type of worker I should be, set goals for myself, all of those things. And he not only said those things, he displayed those things. My brother hired me for the city of Oklahoma City. That was 34 and a half years ago. During that time, I was pretty rambunctious, young, carefree guy. Mindset of, I was looking for a job when I found this one. I kept hearing stories about the greatness of my brother. I was even told once, you should be more like your brother. And I said, well, thank you. That means I'm being me. And that was one of the things that my brother also taught me, was to be myself. He's the easygoing one. He's got my mom's mentality. I'm the opposite. I've got my father's. But I was also taught to embrace those things and to be able to, because of the differences, that's what makes us whole. It keeps my parents alive. The differences in our personalities, our demeanors, those types of things. I see my mother, but yet I also see my father in George, as well as in my other siblings. And my mother and my father always stress the importance of family, to stay together, and we've tried to do that. And long story short, George, you know, I grew up in the era of Michael Jordan. Everybody want to be like Mike. I want to be like George. And so, thank you, brother. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today if it hadn't been for you. I recently retired, 34 years, and like I said, I never thought that was going to happen. But that's because of my brother. I give him total props and credit for it. I owe everything to you. I love you, brother.
Wow.
I'm gonna say a few words. And I feel pretty strong. You know, I'm usually emotional. But,
It's the flip.
yeah, it's the flip. It's doing some things for me. But George, we will be married 22 years in December. And I can honestly say that George is my friend. He is. We are each other's friends. Because we just, to me, we have each other's back, you know. And I just am so thankful that he's a part of my life, because George has helped me grow in ways that I needed to grow, you know. And like everyone has said that he's like this, that's true, because I'm like this. You know, if I got something to say, I would say it. And George sits back and just, you know, and I tell him all the time, and he tells me all the time, Rochelle, sometimes you just have to sit back and listen and just wait. You know, just don't speak, and he's right. And I'm still learning that. But George is the best husband and the best provider that I could ever want. He takes care of me and he loves me unconditional. And the best thing that I there's several things, but to me, one of the best things about George is that he loves God. He loves God. And I know that if he loves God, he's going to love me. And a man that puts God first in his life, he will always take care of you. And I'm just so thankful that I have that with George. And though he has been through some illnesses, which you all know about, God has been good.
Yes.
He has been good because he is here and he's getting stronger. And we are just blessed. And all the time we go to he has clinics once a month where he meets with his doctor, the nurses, and the dietitian and all them. And we'll be sitting up there sometimes, and I mean, some of the other people that come in, and I look at George, and I'll say, do you see how blessed you are? You know, some of them come in alone, and I don't know if that means they don't have anybody, or maybe they just couldn't, but I'm always with him, and they're alone, and they might not even be in the condition that George is in, they could be worse. So we are so thankful that he's in the shape that he's in, because he could be so much worse. And I just want to honor and thank God tonight for you, George. I thank God for you. I thank God for the relationship that you and I have. I thank God for our family and our friends that are here. I just truly thank God for just being so good to us, because he has come in, and to me, God can change things. He is a waymaker. He is. And I'm just so very thankful for that. And I just want you to know, George, how much I love you. And I will always be here to support you and to help you in any way I can. God bless you. He's going to have the last word. Yeah, I'm letting him have it.
Okay, just for the record, to what my sister was saying about the rolling pin. Now, she didn't tell you that she was hitting me with it all the time. I just got tired of getting beat up.
That is a different story.
Yeah, so I wanted to clear it up. Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming out and sharing this special occasion with us, everything. And I really want to thank my wife, who really coordinated this. She did an absolute great job, absolutely great job. I love you too, honey. And again, I just like to say, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, my church family, my family. It means a lot, you know, and thank you for your prayers, because you know, prayers go up, blessings come down, and it has happened. And like Rochelle said, I seem to be getting stronger every day, so that's a blessing in itself. And I tell my brother, we talk, and I tell him that I consider it a blessing when you have more good days than you have bad days. And right now, that's what it seems like. I'm having a lot more good days than bad days. So.
Praise the Lord.
And again, you know, I'm speechless, because, you know, I see everyone here that tells me how much people care about you. And I just, again, just thank you for coming out and sharing this special occasion with me. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go out and cut the cake, so there'll be cake in a few minutes. So continue on to mingle and eat. Eat.